Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. Today I've got some more Mere Madness for you. Aren't you happy about that, Patrick? Yes, you are. Well, there has been an update here to the Stirling engines. So the biggest difference now is rather than kind of moving heat from one spot to another, what they're actually kind of doing here is going to be cutting down the amount of heat overall and converting it to power. There are still going to move a little bit of heat from here to here, but we should be able to see this thing working. So let's go ahead and give it a try here. I should be just about ready to go, so long as my power grid is ready to rumble. Are you ready to rumble? Keep running, Pip, for the steel! Alright, so now I need to add a liquid output to this. So we're going to go with the igneous rock. Oh, hang on, we probably got ceramic here. Let's do that, because that is going to be some hot stuff, and I don't want heat to be leaking around my base. Since when can you make an insulated pipe out of tungsten? Has that always been a thing? Okay, well, not sure why you do that. All right, so that's where all the ceramic is going to go. And then once we're already inside of the insulated tile, we don't really have to worry about it being the heat moving around as much. So we're just going to do that number right there. We'll just make that out of igneous, not a big deal. Flip that over, we can just do this. And we'll do this number right here so that this liquid will continue to flow, and if it has a free spot, then we will jump this in here to cool down. Otherwise, it'll just kind of wait around in the pipe for that stuff to cool down. Hopefully, it will cool down because this thing is going to be taking away some of that energy and pumping it back into our grid. Isn't that right, dupes? And if you get the chance, could you guys sweep this stuff up? It's important. We need to put some weight plates down here in order to automate all of this stuff. You know, if I get a lot of liquid and I heat all of that liquid up, I could make a thermal battery out of the stuff over here and then use Stirling engines to possibly get that heat back. I don't know if they're going to be as effective or less effective than a steam turbine, but they should be able to operate at a lower temperature, which might be really handy if you have a ton of water, which in my base, I now do have a ton of water, especially salt water. Pips, you guys might be out of a job. But you know what? These pips have absolutely demanded that we add wallpaper in back here because they are not pleased with their living quarters at the moment. So here we go. Decorate it up. There you go, sweeper arms. I'm just kind of clearing out the food stuff here so that we can get it back up to the rails. You're doing pretty good, Pips. Every once in a while, though, you keep dropping stuff right here, which means yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at you, dupes. Are you all of this barbecue? There was an awesome request in the comments, and I think I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna put a little sweepy up here rather than use all these auto sweeper arms, just to clean up after these dupes. We will prove once and for all that sweepers are not useless. They are extremely useful. Okay, Panda, you need to move over here, you know, a little bit closer to the heat, which means we need to kick out that cot and this crappy sculpture. Yeah, so that's an issue. That's a pretty big issue there. I need an auto sweeper, and it can't reach inside of here, because if it reaches inside of here like this, then that'll cause a problem. If it can't reach inside there, then we're okay. So we can do this. The shortest shipping rail just about ever. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. All right, what? We got another project that we're doing over here. Just kind of digging this out. That way we can get this polluted vent up here up and running. That way, oh yeah. That way we can put some of these drains down here and start bottling up all that polluted water as it comes out. All right, so focusing back on this, what we were trying to do down here. I don't think we have what we need for steel, do we? Iron, refined carbon. Oh, we don't have refined carbon. Oh, we do have refined carbon. Forever, make the steel. Ah, okay, yes. And now that I have more automation, what I wanted to do is say, hey, if any of these are true, meaning that we could use a critter here, but we don't necessarily have one. Try shipping it up here. Man, this is efficient. Ice Fox, dude, don't you dare get cooked over here. You know, I'm getting really good at cooking my dupes just to the limit of life, right there. And then Super Me. That was the world's fastest treatment. You got a thumbs up, that's it. Get better, dude. Trust me, you'll be fine. Here we go, running a little bit more steel. How's the temperature doing? Well, you know what? It's doing just fine, actually. Man, look at that. It's running in, but by the time it runs out, that's 7 degrees Celsius. Boom! Take care of it. No heat. What do we got going on over here? Oh, things are running. Things are running. Oh, look at them. Look at them go. Nice animation. And we're getting a little bit of power out of that. Let's look at the details here real quick. Produces 100 watts of power, overheat temperature 1000. Draws up to 1000 DTUs per second of heat from the cell below the floor, converting it into power. The amount of heat drawn is based on the ratio of the building's temperature versus the temperature below the floor. So you can make it a little bit more efficient if you create a larger difference. It does move a little bit of heat, I think, here. Yeah, you can see heat production is 72 DTUs, so it's 10% of the heat input. All right, dupes, let's crank this sucker up. Power it all. Oh, but of course, wallpaper. Yes. Oh, that's looking pretty good. And we need to plug these in, so let's go ahead and do that number. And we're doing all right. Oh, it looks so nice. How about you come up here and you put a little clay down? Iron, forever. Tungsten, forever. Copper, forever. Aluminiums, forever. And then one more once we actually get to it. And because we're fancy, let's throw in some big fancy doors. Boom, king sizers. Very nice. But what we do need is some lights, because right now my dupes are in the dark. Sorry, dupes, we've still yet to install any sort of different lights. So this is what you're gonna be stuck with, just a normal lamp. All right, dupes, at the bottom of the world, how are you guys doing? We're actually making some good progress. Very nice. Hey, so what I tried to do here is build up a conveyor loader. This will be used for all sweep only. That way, hopefully, I can come down here and I can just sweep this stuff up. If I can build enough rails to actually get down a little bit further, then awesome. We'll definitely do that. You can see that the conveyor rail is going all the way over here, but it has yet to be built all the way up there. That's a giant rail. That also means I have to do some sort of things with the automated inventory, and that's going to happen over here. Who's on fire? Oh, of course it's Ice Fox, dude. Hey man, Patrick is just sparkling 24/7 on this map. What is up? You just love this. You know what? They need another dupe on the left. Ned Hamford, welcome to the base. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. You are heading that way. Patrick is fleeing from the mess table. That must have been some really bad food. All right, setting up my first farm here. What I'm going to do is bring in a little bit of salt water, just like so. Gonna flood this area and force some oxygen in here so that we actually have enough pressure. And hopefully body temperature as well, which happens to be a little bit warm at the moment. All right, how are we doing over here with our shipping rail? That rail has been built up here. Ooh, we stopped here. We just have not completed the rest of that. Let's see here, what else is going on? With the farm, doing okay here, but we need salt water. Let's bring in a bunch of that. How about the automation signals? Yeah, I got some automation signals that I want to send out here for when we're missing certain critters in certain areas. I want to be able to ship the eggs around again. Kind of got an issue with the Prince Puffs. Don't have a spot for those just yet. Need to build a puffed ranch. Where did I do a puffed ranch though? We do have all this polluted water, so it makes sense to probably do a puffed ranch right up here. +7 athletics. You do take more air, but it's a fast dupe. Toxic Fairy, welcome to the base. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. You're gonna go off to the right. And maybe do something. There you go. Clean the outhouse. Actually, Toxic Fairy, you have no interest. No, I'm kidding. You're gonna supply. Oh, I don't think you have a cot because Sweepy just took your spot. Speaking of that project, here we go. That has to go in here like this. Then the shipping rail has to go over here and then connect up like that. Hey, there we go. Now we have all of this good oxygen in there. Look at that. And what's its pressure? Ooh, real good. So we don't need to run that anymore. But what we do need over here is to bring in some salt water. Can even enable auto bottling wherever you get it from. Mop it up if you need to, dupes. All right, so now let's look back at our metal refinery down here. How have you done? Gosh, you guys are not making much progress here. All right, so now I've got this thing where it's like, I have lots and lots of refined metals, but the thing is I don't know what side of the map they're on. And I think they're mostly on the right side of the map. I'm going to have to do some sort of inventory system to where I can actually look, because if I look at the resources tab, it's just useless for me because I don't know where it's at. One of these interesting problems. Hopefully we can actually build these wires, and that way we can at least build up some more resources down here. So what I'm looking to do is put down a couple of weight plates here. So that'll be like right there, right in that spot. If I line it up for each one of these machines, then I can at least have some sort of idea of how much material I have on hand, so long as the dupes don't move it around. Hey, but there we go. Now we're running the metal refinery. We should see, ooh, yeah, look at that. The water's going out at 60 degrees Celsius, and it will find its way in here in the temperature. Yeah, it's gonna increase the polluted water a little bit, but by the time we get to the end here, oh yeah, look at that. It's all the way down to 36 degrees. Now this thing here is checking to see if it is, well, it should be, as long as it is below, let's say, 40 degrees Celsius, then it should be able to kick it out. So there we go, it's kicking it out, and we can see all these little generators coming to life up here. Now I insulated this area just to kind of see what it would be like. This area should heat up a little bit. Over time, this area will probably heat up, but you know what? I could probably just go ahead and throw some ice in there, since I do have access to some cold biome, so long as I have some chunks of ice somewhere. All right, so we'll build this stuff up, and then we'll put the automation right there, and each one of these machines will run until the weight plate is full, and then it will stop. Simple automation. We're building up a good amount of steel over here, and I also cranked up this weight plate to build up to 2,000 kilograms of plastic, so we should have a good amount of heat over here. So we should be able to produce a good amount of materials over here, and the heat, as we can see here, is, well, it's starting to get a little bit warm. How's the shipping rail doing? That. All right, so here we can see the Stirling engines running. All right, so if we take a look at the heat in this room here, just to kind of see how effective this is. We have 61.3 down below and 31.3 above. And we're consuming about 900 DTUs and converting that into about 9 watts. So not a lot of power. But there we go. Now we dropped 0.1 degrees Celsius. So these things are not extremely powerful, at least when we're dealing with normal temperatures inside, 30 here, 60 down there. So that's something to keep in mind. It also means I should really just maximize the amount I have in here. So, haha, there we go. Make as many of these as I can. Oh, here you go. You can see the difference because the building's a little bit colder. The building's at 17 degrees. Therefore, we're moving 9 watts. Okay. If we just go to the reports here and we take a look at just how much power we're actually kind of producing, you can see that the Stirling engine has produced 55 kilojoules for one day right there. There we go, 66 kilojoules. So that's not even comparable, to 3 pips up here, which are doing 186 kilojoules. Or the solar panels that are putting out 684 kilojoules. It's a very low power way of getting rid of a little bit of heat and converting it to power. So it's kind of the stopgap between this and then the steam engine, which is perfect. I mean, it's a modded piece of equipment, but at the same time, you kind of understand it's right where it should be. Kind of an early game before you get to the steam turbine and can delete a lot more heat. Conveyor loader, what are you shipping? Okay, good job there, conveyor loader. All right, so I need to cool down this area over here. I've got a bunch of mealwood that I'm trying to grow, but it's a little bit too hot. So what I'm going to try to do is just build up some temperature shift plates. Those temperature shift plates are just going to be made of ice. Hopefully we have some ice around that we can actually make use of somewhere in this base. We should have some down here, actually. Yeah, right there. Well, that definitely worked. Now we got a big flood, but that's okay. What we can do is just kind of bottle that up, deliver it right here. Of course, now the temperature might be a little bit too low. Oops. Here we go. Go in there and we'll mop it all up. And the body temperature is, 11 degrees. Just perfect. Come on, dupes. Keep mopping it up. Don't leave me. Well, that worked pretty good. We're at 10 over here. But this got a little bit too cold because it took the dupes a little bit too long to get there. Hey, look at this. Now we got plenty of water over here. We got a little bit of ethanol, a little bit of salt water. A fine mix of everything. There you go. Well, let's go ahead and take this, move it right up here, start working on the next one. So the air temperature up here is about 14 degrees. All right, so that's good. Now that that is all there and set up, I can go over here, just kind of get rid of this stuff. We don't need that anymore. And figure out what else I want to grow over here. We do have other plants, like the water weeds. I could do that. I do have this critter drop-off to set up for pips. The thing is, I don't know if I want to wait. Thing is, I don't really think I want to wait for the pips to do their thing. That is a really slow process. But I do have some other pips that are growing up, so maybe I'll give that just a few cycles. The other thing is I think we're going to convert this over here so that instead of growing mealwood, I'm going to start to grow balm lilies down there. That way we can keep our normal Drecos as they are and then not worry about plastic. I was worried about plastic, but now that we have access to oil, it's not as big of a deal. Over here on the left, we are still draining this thing, so we really can't go up anymore until we actually clear that out. So that's kind of keeping us from, building up our next ranch over here. I had to stop this project because my dupes just kept getting absolutely roasted over here, and there's not enough dupes on this side to kind of power through something like that. I can put the super dupes up there and maybe take care of it, but for right now, they're trying to work on the rest of these projects. The one thing we did get set up down here, which is pretty nice, is we do have our metal refinery set up. That's real nice. Although I'm dealing with an iron shortage over here on the left, so I need to mine up some more iron. And one of the other things I could do here is deconstruct these background buildings. I mean, while the scaffolding is cool, it's definitely not as efficient as just using normal tiles or ladders to kind of get from one spot to another. It's because it requires metal. And since this is not a metal-rich map, it's a little bit more difficult. Or you know what, maybe I will just go with glossy Drecos over here. Maybe that's just fine. I can grow, I was able to find some seeds somewhere, just a few thimbleweeds. And since I do have polluted water, again, somewhere, there it is over here, I can grow those, but I don't really know what side of the map the thimbleweeds are on. Let's see here. I click this and then I click that. Oh, okay, yeah, they're right there in the middle, so they came out of the printing pot. Lucky me. Oh, darn. Fried mushroom. I wanted mushrooms. I don't have any way of growing mushrooms at the moment. There's actually no slime on this map, which isn't impossible to make, considering I could do it with puffs, but there we go. We'll set up the little Atmosuit checkpoint over here. That way the first 3 farms we can get to via this little checkpoint. That'll be nice. That way the dupes don't constantly get wet all the time, soggy feet, and that nasty debuff, which is obviously leading to some stress, at least with, well, nobody actually. Okay, never mind. Ah, they found another way in. Meep, no, Meep, don't run away with the suit. Ha, that was close. All right, so for the last thing I'm going to do today, I'm going to just kind of do this number here real quick, and then we're going to bring this oxygen that's feeding these suits here. We're going to continue that via some good old pipe spaghetti. Oops, we're going to run into that thing. There you go. Full spaghetti. All the way over here and into our Atmosuit. I know, dupes, you guys thought you were done building, didn't you? Ha! Not even close. All right, so if we look back at the farm, you know what? I think a good thing to grow right up here is just going to be some water weeds. I was thinking about doing the whole pip thing, but you know what? It's just going to take forever to get the pips up in here. And I can kind of start them up here and actually start growing down below and not have to worry about all that. Matter of fact, we even have one right there. Maybe I should just roll with it. All right, so if I grow that right here, it will consume a little bit of bleach stone and a lot of salt water. Now here's the thing where if we had the modded piece of equipment, we could use the aquatic farm tile right here, which would actually just absorb the water that's on top of it. But we're not that fancy in this map, so we're going to have to convert this to the hydroponic tiles here. And then I'm going to have to pump in salt water to this area. Then again, I kind of need to drain this area up here, so I could probably just use one farm to feed the other farm. And because we're not done with this yet, and because there's always something more to do, well, we need to ship out our stuff from over here to the left. Thankfully, we already have this rail built up right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to disable this sweepy here so it doesn't suck up all the salt water. I actually want that. So taking a look at shipping rails, let's see here. Ooh, we have completed the Great Lower Shipping Rail. Notice this one down here. So now we can go ahead and sweep all of this good stuff up and move it into our base. Very nice. So if we click on this and I say allow manual use, I go down here, sweep up this stuff, all of this stuff here, except for that. We should be able to kind of load that stuff and bring it up top. Although it is kind of hot, so we might have to worry about the temperature that we're bringing in, but I can at least sweep up this stuff without much problem. That's a good amount of refined metals. Hey, there we go. Now Sweepy's delivering stuff, and if I set this to a lower priority. All right, so now we're doing a little bit of farming. Sweepy here should go ahead and pick up that meal ice and meal wood. So long as we get this poke shell out of here. Keeps messing with Sweepy. He doesn't like him. Look at him, just giving him the biggest stare down ever. Man, this has lasted a long time. Sweepy, ever gonna get past that guy? Nope. Okay, we've been here for like 3 minutes. Sweepy just will not go past this poke shell. Ah, there we go. Now we can see the contents being shipped out, collected by Sweepy here. And then those will go over here and be sorted out. Nice. All right, so one modification I'm going to have to make right here is to change that from airlock to a mechanical, is to change it from a mesh door to a mechanical airlock like this. That way Sweepy can actually just move over it. You see right now? Can't do it. There he goes. Now he can clean up everybody's mess. However, we need a higher tier kitchen, so I think one of the things we'll do next time here is build up a gas range right up here. But that'll have to happen next time. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this little episode here of Oxygen Not Included. Have a great day. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out. Welcome to a dupe debrief. This is actually my second time trying to record this one because the last one, the file got corrupt. So now I'm trying it with OBS. Look at this crazy setup. Desktop up top, camera down below, good old OBS. You might be wondering why not just put your face cam over there. Well... Question, do the auto sweepers count as industrial buildings when it comes to the mess hall? Actually, they do not. We tested this one out a little bit earlier. However, the loaders that you use, for some odd reason, do count. So that's why they awkwardly are placed outside the room. Diamond is saying, as cool as Oxygen Not Included currently is, I don't think there's enough things to go catastrophically wrong. Yeah, just wait till those spore childs show up, or... once we start to get into nuclear energy, whenever that DLC comes out, woo, that's gonna be good stuff. Not only that, in case you're wondering, this whole series of me having two bases side by side is kind of my way of possibly looking at the future when it comes to what DLC might hold for us. I doubt we're gonna have two colonies playing at the exact same time. It seems way too chaotic. In case you're wondering, this is really hard to keep track of what in the world's going on because I have to do everything twice and do them slightly differently, but the materials don't move. But I do know when it comes to the DLC, I saw kind of things shipping between different asteroids, so you can kind of play to the end of one and then kind of go to another, it seems like. I'm not 100% sure what's all involved there, but it's a similar multi-base sort of thing, and I've kind of been doing that for a while. I don't know, I'm looking forward to that. In case you're wondering, there are definitely some comments about here about the next thing I want to do, and really, I'm just looking forward to the DLC. I hope it comes out soon. Now that I actually have plastic, I can go ahead and replace those large compressors. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Some of the other things I'm going to do in the base there is I'm going to automate the metal on the vanilla side and kind of get away with from the critters. They're unfortunately just not really all that controlled, and I hate mining up my raw material and then having it automatically go to all of those critters. While I kind of like ranching a little bit, I don't think I like it as much as I like automated metal manufacturing. That and inventory. I've got some ideas for inventory that's going to happen. So Steve here's talking about, can you have a gigantic mess hall where people can kind of come together and show off? I think having that right in the middle of the base would be kind of cool. I don't want to share the two sides though. And it's enough headaches trying to keep the pathing from going crazy as is. However, one of the other ideas that came up here from Snoodle, I think that's your name, is it possible to build a trading system between both sides? I think that would be also really cool, especially a fun automation program challenge. As far as you have to put in a certain amount of kilograms over here and a certain amount of kilograms over there, and at that point it's locked out, the dupes have to leave, and then the material trades. I think that would be pretty cool. So if we take that and we combine that with what Blood Fungus is saying here, is having a royal shine bug factory to outclass the other side, I think that's a fun thing. Who can make the best shine bugs and who can have the most of them to show off? I'll try to get to something like that. We'll see what happens. Oh, and Diamond is also talking about down here, put the puffs in the polluted water geyser area so they have something to eat. Yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, I plan to bring the puffs probably at the spot where I'm going to replace some of my other hatches right now because I just don't need them anymore. I'm going to replace those with puffs. I don't think the pips will be happy about it, but I'm sure they'll protest. But still, I think right there in the center of the base is a good spot for some puffs. And that way I get some slime too. Not that I need slime, but it'll be the first slime I have in the base. Matthew says, loving the new series, dude. Just started the preview from the Watch It Print CAD class right there, and it is very well planned out. maybe even more so than a majority of the college courses that you've been to, which is awesome. That is basically why I designed it the way I did. It's one big continuous project. You are making this 3D printer and the whole thing levels up as you progress, which is pretty awesome. From those that have taken the course, I've gotten a lot of really good feedback. So hopefully the word continues to get out and ramps up and gets better. If you're looking for something to try this weekend, something to learn, definitely check out Watch It Print on YouTube. This is my other channel, just launched right now. Absolutely fresh. I think you guys would find that CAD is a lot more simple than you might expect. And I've tried to build the best course possible. You know, maybe design your own little sweep here. A lot of you guys wanted to turn this into a Roomba. Still waiting for somebody to give me a design for one. Still manufacturing these, by the way. They're printing off like crazy in the other room. So that's going to happen. About halfway through all the parts that I need to make there. So far, I have 30 sets of feet, and I'm coming up on 30 sets of the middle part, and then I got to make 30 sets for both of these parts. So, it takes a long time to print parts, but hey, maybe I'll end up with a print farm eventually. Or a whole bunch of printing pods, yes. Anyhow, I got to go get working on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar, out.